Humping Badger Wednesday.
No.
Some people call it Hump Day. It's not what it's called.
There is no Humping Badger
I have decided by royal decree of the Booster Club that we will change it to Humping Badger.
No, the Booster Club did not decide that. I know for a fact.
I think they would be down with that. I think they would be down with that.
There's only 7 days of the week. You want to give one full day to a perverted badger.
Look, we already give like 8 months to all type of different perversions. Why would we not give, 1 day of the week to a
Talking about perversion, did you hear about the renegade? Did you hear about the renegade?
No, I have no idea.
Do we have the hot dog? The picture of the hot dog?
Oh, renegade? I didn't realize it was called the Renegade.
Yes, there it is.
So what? So this is in Pittsburgh.
This is the Pirates.
So the Pirates have a new food item called the Renegade, like David said. It's a foot-long hot dog.
Oh, look, diarrhea.
Topped with potato pierogies, pot roast, pickles, and onions. Mm-hmm. And for only $300 at the ballpark, it could be yours because we know how overpriced food and drinks are at the ballpark. This has got to be like a foot-long. I think the picture makes it look bigger than what like it actually is. I've eaten a foot-long hot dog before. And don't make a joke. Don't make a joke.
You take off the pickles and onions, I'll eat 2 of those things.
I just can't believe you don't like pickles.
Disgusting.
That's just bread and butter pickles.
Cucumbers.
Which are way better than dill. Dill pickles
Blain knows what I'm talking about. Ridiculous. Come on, Blain.
When it comes to pickles?
Yeah.
I'm a big Wickles guy.
Big Wickles guy, too.
I'm on an island. I'm on 7-footer island today.
Yeah. Well, you're on the board. Arkansas basketball coach Eric Musselman is set to interview with USC today. Bronny James is expected to enter the transfer portal, average player with above-average headlines, and Bo Nix discusses the difference between playing in the South and on the West Coast, and I think you'll find that one interesting. I'm Jake Crain, and welcome to Crain & Company. It's a Humping Badger Wednesday. Now, there are few things tougher to watch than a marriage everyone thought was made in hog heaven ends in divorce, and an ugly one. And if Eric Musselman takes the USC job after reports say he will interview with them today, we could see that happen in Fayetteville. Now, if the Must Bus pulls out of town, it will bring what seemed like the perfect situation, somewhat of an abrupt end, and will be a true lose-lose for both parties, Musselman and Arkansas. Now, why, do you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. Let's start with Eric Musselman first. Yes, this year was a letdown. It didn't work out with the guys he brought in the transfer portal, but he has taken the Hogs to 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16 the previous 3 years before this one. He's elevated the program even more to a point where runs in March weren't just because you had a bad batch of green beer on St. Patrick's Day. Now, not only had he had what felt like a genuine connection with the fans, we've seen him rip his shirt off, go nuts. They really seem to embrace each other. And outside of this year, Bud Walton was pretty much a death sentence for anybody to play in. We know the home court advantage that they have. He embodied the toughness and the grit that Arkansas seems to have played with from Nolan Richardson to Mike Anderson and now with him. Now on the Arkansas side, who wouldn't want to coach at a place like Arkansas? The fans love their basketball and they create a nightmare environment for any opponent that enters. And there's been a really great tradition in basketball in Fayetteville. And the brand, at least right now and still, even after a bad year, is very national, has a very wide breadth. They pay almost as well as anyone in the country in their basketball program to their coaches. And they've shown they aren't afraid to reward those coaches monetarily when they show progress. So the tall and short of it is, there is no winner in a potential divorce between Eric Musselman and Arkansas. Guess maybe except for USC if they get Muss. Now, if he does leave, the question becomes, who do the Hogs hire next? Will Todd Golden sign an extension? Chris Beard sign an extension? But there's a guy down in McNeese that they just don't have enough money to pay what he's worth, that they need to make a run at. But let's not put the cart in front of the bus just yet. David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback. My brother, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver, and a Dragon on Fridays. You know, there's been rumors every now and then of Musselman leaving Arkansas when the Arizona job opened up. Obviously, Tommy Lloyd got that. We've seen other moves get made. His name was brought up with SMU, which ended up hiring Andy Enfield, who was USC's head coach, opening that up. David, is Arkansas going to have two coaches that felt like, and we use the term fit, if you can coach, you can coach, but is Arkansas going to have two guys that you felt like there was a genuine connection and a perfect match in Eric Musselman and maybe Sam Pittman being gone within the same calendar year?
I hate this news, man. I want to hear from every Arkansas fan during call-ins today.
Well, Heartbroken Hog's going to call in.
He definitely needs to call in.
I
I want to hear
Heartbroken
from all
Hog
of them, to be
here.
honest. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at Eric Musselman's 5 years since he's been at Arkansas: 20-12, 25-7, 28-9, 22-14, and then this year 16-17. And that was 2 Elite Eights in there. That was a Sweet 16 in there. He's done such a great job with this Arkansas basketball program. I know they haven't gotten to a Final Four, but it seems like he's the guy who's kept them on track. To me, it's sounding like maybe there is just like a butting of heads with Hunter Yurachek, with the AD.
Well, did you see that the AD put out a video
Yeah.
that was him getting on the bus and Eric Musselman was the bus driver? This is when all the rumors were swirling about Musselman leaving here recently. And he was like, hey, you still here? And Musselman was like, yeah. Well, it turns out that's an old video. Eric Musselman had no idea they were putting that out. So it gave the illusion that they were going to re-sign Musselman and it was all going to be good. Musselman and them are like, no, we had nothing to do with this video. Then Yurachek goes on a podcast and he's like, well, that was just, letting people know that he was still our coach. Like, I just feel like there's some bag fumbling going on. But Blain, listen, Eric Musselman is a West Coast guy. If you, kind of look at his background and, he's been at the Lakers, he's been at the Kings, he's been in the G League out there. I don't feel like this is him running from the SEC. But I think the question becomes and maybe it wasn't the genuine connection that some of us thought, that some of us felt. But if one bad season can turn into this, when you've gone to 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16 the 3 previous years, and we've seen the success that Arkansas has had under Musselman, was it really that strong to begin with, man? Like, what was it fake? Was it just like the love fake? Because one bad thing goes wrong. Oh, no. You forgot to run this errand, honey. Let's get a divorce.
I don't know if the love was fake. I don't know that, but there seems to be something a little bit extra going on in this. And this wasn't only a down year for Arkansas, but it was just a strange year for Arkansas. If you go back through the year, you remember the love triangle that supposedly
which turned out
to be fake. A lot of weird things going on, but the one thing will always be true is Eric Musselman's a damn good basketball coach.
Especially in tournament time.
Especially in tournament time when it matters the most. I mean, look, the guy's taking his shirt off, running around the sidelines. He gets the Arkansas fans pumped, and he gets NBA talent running through that program. So if you're the AD Hunter for Arkansas, I don't know what you're doing and what you're thinking if you think the grass is greener on the other side. Eric Musselman deserves to be paid. He's taken Arkansas to places that, the last couple of years where, I'm watching guys playing in the NBA now, Anthony Black, all these guys. So right now, if you're the AD of Arkansas, if Sam Pittman can keep his job after what the hell just happened last year, and you let Musselman go, unless it's Musselman wanting to leave,
it's got to be.
Then I get it. But if it's them pushing him out, I'll never understand.
No, there's no way, unless there is just something going on behind the scenes that nobody knows about. And I want to talk to John Neighbors and Ty and those guys that cover Arkansas. Maybe there's something under the leaves that we're not seeing. I think we would kind of have heard about it by now. But I don't think this is a Hunter Yurachek was like, nope, get out, Eric Musselman, you're back. There's no way in hell that happened. What I'm sitting here looking at is saying, okay, if Eric Musselman does leave, because if you're going to interview for that job, if you're out in LA, which we were just out there interviewing for that USC job, I don't see a way in which you go back to Arkansas. Because I don't think it would have been public at all if it was something that Musselman maybe was trying to keep under wraps and USC was too, and then all of a sudden we hear this announcement. The fact that it got out that he is going to LA today to interview with USC, I don't know how you return home when you just went and visited the side chick and the newspaper reported about it. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Jim
Harbaugh did it. Jim Harbaugh came back from the Vikings interview.
Well, see, that's the professional league, though. To me, that's different.
It is a little different.
If Eric Musselman was going and interviewing with the Knicks today.
There are some jobs that would be no-brainer for Eric Musselman to take.
USC, right? I don't.
Yesterday I was thinking, okay, if Arizona called, if Duke called, if North Carolina called, like all of these teams, like Eric Musselman would have to say yes to those jobs. USC is an interesting one in that they can be really good at basketball. Maybe not quite like what we think of UCLA across town, but USC going into the Big Ten now, maybe Eric Musselman feels hey, this is a program that I can revitalize. Sometimes we talk about like, hey, not being the guy after the guy, but USC has the ability to be really good at basketball. Maybe he can be the guy who comes in and revitalizes that. But I just don't know if it's a better situation than what he's already in. 5 years in, 2 Elite Eights.
Yeah, well,
Arkansas.
if we're talking about just basketball, and I know it's LA, right? I know it's LA, and LA is more attractive to a lot of young people than Fayetteville is. If it's just about basketball success, I think it's a move down. With what we've been able to see in Arkansas, the way the SEC's been going, I know it wasn't the best showing in the NCAA tournament, but what he's been building there at Arkansas, you feel like is legitimate and it's real. If this is I need to get out of a situation I don't feel comfortable in, and I might as well go back home, or go to a place I'm more comfortable with on the West Coast. Okay, I can maybe understand that, but this didn't seem very smooth. This seemed very abrupt to me, and kind of like I got to get the hell out of here. That's what it seems like. Now, before we get to the Booster Club, we're going to have the phone calls open, the phone lines open at 8:15 a.m. Eastern, 1-855-236-3228. Replacements, because I think Muss is gone.
Everybody's asking for Chris.
I think
Everybody's
Chris Beard
asking
signed
for
an
Chris
extension.
Beard.
I believe at Ole Miss. Unless I'm wrong, I'm going to talk to Stephen Willis.
Contracts don't matter
next
anymore.
week. You're right. That's true. But when you look at replacements, if you're Arkansas, and let's say you're out there looking for a coach, Chris Beard, I think, would be a great hire. I think there's a lot more tradition, obviously, at Arkansas in basketball than there is at Ole Miss, right? They're both in the SEC. Not that Ole Miss is a bad job. I don't think it is. But I think Arkansas is a better job than Ole Miss is in basketball. I think a lot of people can agree. Ole Miss fans won't, but again, I'm here to tell the truth, not what makes you happy. But then you look at Will Wade. All right? Then you look at Will Wade. Is there ever a better time to go get Will Wade? You snuck Chris Beard. You snuck Chris Beard because of what happened at Texas. All right? That should have never Ole Miss getting Chris Beard to be the basketball coach honestly should never happen. Will Wade, and he'll love you forever. And I know he said he's coming back to McNeese, but and what Bruce Pearl did and what Will Wade did were different, right? But Bruce Pearl, when he got hired back at Auburn from ESPN, Auburn, that was like it was like a song from The Fray. It's like, you found me, lost and insecure on ESPN.
Is that a baton in your pocket, or you just happy to see me?
Wow.
Wow.
What a remix.
That's
Man,
pretty
here's
good right there.
and the middle disorder falls right back in line. We all
Runs in
three
the
got
family.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. We all three got a different version of it. But go get Will Wade. Now, hey, look, Ole Miss went and took a chance on you. I got to go ball. Oh, no, I'm balling. Big time school comes calling. Now, guess what? Hang up the phone.
Blain,
I thought you were gonna
can
run.
Arkansas handle if Chris Beard and Bobby Petrino are on staff at the same time?
I mean, I don't care if they can handle it or not, but I can't wait for the 30 for 30. That shit's going to be undefeated. I can't wait.
Well, just keep Petrino away from the motorcycles. We want to know what you think. Going to get to the Booster Club here in 1 second. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate everybody hopping in this morning in the chat. Look, got the Final Four coming this weekend. Men's, we have women's. Major League Baseball's here. It's Nerfy season. It's Yerfy season. Everybody's excited. Obviously, NHL, NBA, getting to the playoffs. And if you're going to bet, there's only one place to go, especially if you're in the Trust Tree, the Booster Club, the Circle of Friendship, the Diamond of Positivity, and that's betonline.ag. All right, they've got all the best spreads. They've got anything that is going on, from prop bets to your straight ups, to your teasers, to your parlays. They've got it. And look, I don't know anybody that's not picking UConn right now, if we're going to be honest. But if you're going to sprinkle something on somebody, I don't think NC State's a bad pick.
Bama,
We're going to get into
money
it.
line.
I know we're going to get into it. I don't think NC State's a bad pick. Thanks to everybody who signed up for our bracket challenge as well. So while you're watching your favorite team, why not spice things up with a friendly wager? It'll make you care about games you never thought you'd even care about. So go to betonline.ag to place your bets today. Use promo code BOOSTER, that's BOOSTER, for a 50% instant deposit bonus of up to $1,000. That's betonline.ag. Use the promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. Bet online, where the options are endless, and so is the fun. Also, we are heading to Gainesville, Florida tomorrow.
To fire
on
Billy
Thursday.
Napier.
No, we're going to go in there and just going to try and get some answers. We have a Lady Ballers event on April 4th, so on Thursday, so tomorrow, or depending on when you're listening to this, at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central. If you're in the area, come join us. All right, as we continue to fight for women's sports, we're trying to be one of the leading voices on this serious issue, which is absolutely ridiculous. Shout out to our friend Riley Gaines. You can find the RSVP link in our socials and in the show description. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have Q&A. Going to be able to chop it up with y'all. And look, talk some football too. Talk some Florida football, whatever y'all want to. We're down, but make sure you check that out. We appreciate it. All right, Booster Club, let's get it.
All right, what's up, brother? Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you donate. It's on topic. It will get read. If not, I'll read it at the end. We're going to start it off with Kennedy. It says, Mutz is from Southern California. Just depends on how bad he wants to go home. I think we all know USC is not a better job than Arkansas.
Yeah, and look,
USC
as I'm dropping everything,
great job.
I mean, nobody's saying USC is a bad job. If I'm Eric Musselman, I just saw the mountain of gold and planes and science and technology they just gave Lincoln Riley. So if it's just about going back home, I felt like he would have already made a move like this, earlier when the UCLA job opened. I know Mick Cronin ended up getting it. Like, that's where a lot of people thought he was going to be. This just feels a little bit, is dirty the right word? Just not as clean as that. It's not a guys, listen, mama came calling. Mama came calling and I just got to get up out of here. Like, I can't, leave her on red. I don't know. It just feels like there's one bad year. There's controversy that follows. Everybody's pissed. There's been 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16. You're watching these other teams in the SEC make runs in the tournament. You're adding Texas and Oklahoma. And it just seems like there's some rift behind the scenes. It's more than just I'm going home, y'all. Kanye West, South Park.
Possibly. We'll see. We'll find out. While we're on the topic, it sounds like Bronny James is going to enter the transfer portal and leave USC.
This is
where do you think does this have to do where his dad's going to play? Or
I don't care. Like, we are doing such a disservice, I think, too. And I know why it's a big deal. It's LeBron's kid. It'll be one of the most popular portal follows that there is, right? It'd be like if Troy Aikman's kid hopped in the portal or something like that. And it's even bigger. I just think he's an average player. Like, is he worth the distraction? If you're a Gonzaga or somebody like that, because I don't think he can go start at Arizona. I don't think he could go start at most SEC teams or a lot in the Big Ten. I think he may have to go to a lower level, not Division II, but maybe a quote-unquote, group of 5 school. Is it worth the circus that comes with that for an average basketball player?
What do you think? I'm hearing a lot of Buckeyes. Him going to Buckeyes, dad going to Cleveland, retiring
I
there.
I wouldn't say that's a terrible fit, but I do agree the only reason we are talking about this because it is LeBron James' kid. I mean, he's young, freshman, I believe, and didn't play terrible this year, I thought. It kind of is the same thing with Arch Manning to me. Anytime Arch Manning does anything or moves, someone talks about it.
Yeah, but Arch hadn't got to play.
Arch hadn't got to. Yeah, I agree, but I still think Bronny has a lot of time ahead of him to be really good at basketball.
Oh, he does. Nobody's saying that. I hope it works out.
I just thought he was going to start for the Lakers.
No, that's my whole point.
What LeBron was saying.
That's my whole point.
LeBron would read 7 books a day. So, I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, no one believes what LeBron's saying. Hell, I don't think LeBron believes what he's saying, but that's his son. If he wants to gas him up, he can. No, and I have no problem with LeBron gassing up his son. I've got no problem. I don't know if that's maybe in the best interest of the kid, but I'm not a parent. I'm not his parent, so I'm not going to tell him how to raise his child. But the circus that comes with it, right? And look, media is a good thing a lot of times. It would bring a lot of attention. You'll have a lot of guys, I think, that would want to go play maybe with Bronny. But it just, is the juice worth the squeeze when it comes down to just the circus that's going to come along with that? I just don't believe it is. Let's go to Woo Pig 00. He says, y'all tweaking, bruh. He says, why y'all trying to change the narrative out here?
On what?
I don't know.
You got to be more specific on that. Change the narrative on Musselman?
I'm trying to change the whole narrative.
Yeah, you're trying
Whatever
to
it is, I'm going to change it. I'm changing the narrative on Humping Badger Wednesday.
It's too early for me to tweak. You got to be more. Who said that?
That was Woo Pig 00.
Woo Pig 00.
I asked him what the narrative was. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, you got to be more specific. The narrative on, that there was, I don't think it's any sort of surprise or anything that there may be a rift between the AD and Musselman. I'm not sure where you're going. I think this may be a defense mechanism to protect Arkansas, which I understand.
So to Sir Edward, the SEC has gotten better around Arkansas and surpassed the level of what Arkansas was playing at. And a lot of that has to do with Musselman.
See, I don't think we have enough data to back that up. I mean, you had 1 year where, Trevor Brazile didn't have a great year, right? Debo Davis didn't have a great year. Had to walk away from the team again. I just think it was one of those years where, we always talk about the years where, hey, you remember when it all came together? Man, it's really come together. Well, there's those years where it all falls apart. And it happens every now and then. But again, look at what happened the 3 years before this. I don't think Eric Musselman is ducking the SEC. I don't think you duck the SEC to go to the Big Ten in basketball.
No,
we're not
talking about football here.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. So again, this is not a shame on Musselman or a shame on Arkansas. This is something doesn't smell right? And I just still don't buy into he just wants to go home. That's the only reason any of this is happening. If you kept up with Arkansas basketball throughout the year, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right, let's go to Heartbroken Hog. What's up, brother? He says, Mike Anderson put guys in the league. He just couldn't do jack in the tourney.
Yep.
That's the difference with Musselman.
Cal puts guys in the league. If that's the standard, Calipari puts guys in the league.
And I mean, you look at Kentucky, obviously, they're a basketball-driven institution, but you got to have both. I mean, I would rather, as a fan of my team, I'd rather just make runs in the NCAA tournament. I don't care that much about a lot of guys that make deep runs in the NCAA tournament. They're not lottery picks. That's not how it works. DJ Byrne, hell, Zach Edey may not go in the first round. He's been the National Player of the Year the last 2 years. I'd rather win in the tournament. If we got guys that go to the NBA, great, fantastic. I love that. That helps everything. But I want to win in March.
Yeah.
That's what matters the most.
All right, let's go to G. Hurt. It says the draft Bronny to get LeBron strategy is one of my favorite draft speculation stories of all time. Do we think it's actually going to happen?
Well, the fact, what makes it interesting is that I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I don't. I would not be shocked if somebody took that chance. It's almost like when they draft a quarterback in baseball, still, even if he hadn't played quarterback in 3 years. I'm trying to remember who it was who got drafted 3 straight years and didn't even play college baseball. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Russell Wilson, maybe?
Well, Russell played. Russell played for a while in college. There was a quarterback, I'm trying to remember who it was, got drafted every single year.
Did Patrick Mahomes play at Texas Tech?
I think it may have been Mahomes. It may have been Mahomes, and it's happened multiple times. But just on the whim, maybe Kyler Murray will go to the A's. It just, I don't know if it's as far-fetched as that, but I think what makes it interesting is that it's possible. All right, one more.
All right, let's go to Amy. Amy, hello. Any more years will Shaka Smart to be at Marquette after this last poor performance in March Madness? Thank you in advance.
I think Marquette and Shaka Smart, it's like peanut butter and jelly, man. When he left Texas, a lot of people were like, why would you leave Texas to go to Marquette? I think it's kind of the perfect situation for Shaka. I don't understand, why you would go back to, it's not like Marquette, nobody cares about basketball. I mean, you're in the Big East. You're able to get good players. You play in huge environments. Now would the nervousness of, hey, man, well, the Big East only got 3 teams in this year. Maybe they don't respect the Big East. Would that push them out? I don't think so. But it seems like Shaka and Marquette's kind of a match made in heaven. I'm interested to see what the Woo Pig guy says about the narrative, Arkansas fans. Call in, because I want to hear 1-855-236-3228, what narrative is trying to be changed, because we talked about 3 different narratives. So that ought to be interesting. But let's get to some rapid fire here, Dave.
All right, let's do it. I want to talk about this Angel Reese press conference, but first I have to say the Iowa-LSU rematch drew 12.3 million viewers.
Yeah.
That's significant. That's more than any women's college basketball game ever, more than the 2023 NBA Finals, more than the 2023 World Series, more than the Orange Bowl, the 2023 Big Ten Championship, the ACC Championship, more than the Peach Bowl, and more than every college football regular season game except Michigan and the Buckeyes. So this idea that, people can't get invested in women's sports when there's actually something interesting happening, I don't buy into, because that's proof.
No, I think what's happened with women's basketball, and they have gotten more media coverage. Obviously, that's helped. But you don't have just one team that's just beating the hell out of everyone, and you know what's going to happen, and all the other games are just sloppy, kind of average basketball, and comparing them to men is unfair. Like when I watched LSU and Iowa play, I was like, these are two really good basketball teams. And I mean, making shots, right? Making, passes similar to what we've seen in other realms of basketball. Like it's a good product. They're two good teams. This isn't just UConn running out there and beating people 120-14. Like, because that's what we used to have. It used to be one really dominant team and everybody else was just mid. Like maybe you had somebody that snuck in there, right? Notre Dame closed their eyes and hit a couple shots off the backboard, or, Mississippi State that one year. But now it seems like we have multiple really good teams that play good ball. South Carolina, right? LSU, Iowa with Caitlin Clark. We'll see what happens when Caitlin Clark leaves, right? If she ever leaves. I try and stay in college as much as possible when you look at the money. Mm-hmm. But I just, again, look at Juju Watkins and what they're doing at USC. And obviously UConn with Paige Beckers and Gino Auriemma. There's a lot more depth in the pool than what we've seen in women's basketball. And I think that's one of the main catalysts of why we're seeing this. And that's great for them. I'm happy for them. Hell, I watched it. I bet on it. I wonder how much sports gambling has helped women's sports, if we're going to be honest, too.
Yeah, we need to look at those numbers as well. And I mean, Angel Reese, national champion last year, has over the last year, it's really like embraced this sort of villain role through her trash talk, and she's gotten a lot of NIL deals and a lot of attention. She came out, had a very emotional press conference after the loss to Iowa that went viral. So I want to play this and get your thoughts on it.
I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and, like, not be there for them. So I just want them to always just know, like, I'm still a human, like.
So the question that's been going around on this is Angel Reese being hypocritical based off the persona that she's put forward over the last year and then having a post-game press conference like this?
It's hard to embrace the villain role, which I think LSU as a team has embraced the villain role. I think Kim Mulkey has kind of embraced the villain role, and it's something that has helped them. And I like it. Look, some teams, like I said, we talked about this with LSU the other day, some places are built to embrace the villain role. And Angel Reese, pointing at her finger last year to Iowa, to Caitlin Clark, trash talking. She's not the only one. Caitlin Clark trash talks. They all trash talk. But it seems to me that Angel Reese and LSU wanted to turn that up a notch because it felt like it helped them. It gave them an advantage, whether that's in preparation, whether that's intimidating the other team. It felt like that's how LSU wanted to go about it. They didn't turn it down, right? And there's been many times where Angel Reese has been on the attack, I guess, right? And she's become famous. Angel Reese has become famous, right? And, when you take pictures in bikinis, which there's nothing wrong with that, and you've got this many people following you, there's going to be love, there's going to be hate, you're going to get, hell, we get death threats, right? Like, but at the end of the day, I feel, and you're emotional, you just came off a huge loss.
Yeah.
Right, which is not the best time to snapshot somebody, no. and I'm glad she went out there. And I think she's telling the truth.
That
how
may
she
be your
really
last
feels.
College game.
I don't think she's lying. Yeah, I don't think she's lying.
Yeah.
I think she's saying how she really feels. But we need to make sure we teach our young adults, and we see this problem at a lot of different places in college athletics right now, that, once you're 18 and you want to be treated like an adult and you want to be compensated like an adult, you've got to be able to take the good with the bad. That doesn't mean that the bad's right? That doesn't mean those people that are making death threats are right, because they're not. But you can't sit here and just think it's all going to be good. It's like, we can't say anything bad about college players' performance, but they can get paid. You can go on and name another job. I mean, there's 18-year-olds that stormed the beach in Normandy. They were getting shot with crossfire from the Nazis. Like, spare me crying for a millionaire that's upset because she's famous and some people don't like her. Like, I don't think she's a hypocritical person, but I think in that moment, if she could have redone it, she probably would have done it different.
So, Blain, Emmanuel Acho is getting buried right now by his listeners, his fans, the people that follow him, and he basically tweeted and said, in sports, you can't act like the big bad wolf, then cry like Courage the cowardly dog. She has also said she embraces being the villain, and in sports, when you're the villain, you sacrifice being the victim. Is he right or is he wrong?
I think he's right.
Yeah, I don't agree with Acho a lot.
I don't agree with him a lot, but I do think he's right. I mean, you can't. This goes back to the oldest saying in the books. I mean, don't dish it if you can't take it.
Yeah.
Right? And Angel Reese, her whole career, hell, I was watching the little bit. I'll admit, I watched a little bit of the Iowa LSU game, just a little bit. Hell, I saw her look over to the coach and told the coach to keep her name out of her damn mouth. Right at her. And the things Angel Reese said, look, you can't be the big badass, then get up there and just wah. It's around to the Caleb Williams situation. You want to be the villain? You want to talk all this crap? You want to do this and do this? Shake in front of Caitlin Clark? You want to put on that persona? You want to be that image? I'm not going to take you serious when you get up there and cry like a little baby because you feel victimized. I mean, it wasn't because it was her last college game. It was because she felt victimized, sexualized. You got up there and you said a bunch of stuff that no one's going to feel bad for you for because of who you are and what you act like on the basketball court.
I guess that's a good distinction. You know, I don't mind the emotion. I mean, I cried after my very last
I did too.
game, you know, but for what she was saying, I guess you're right. And look, we'll see if Emmanuel Acho is forced to take that as
the only problem I have, wasn't Courage the Cowardly Dog, like, courageous?
I have no idea.
Like, I don't think he
Great
cried.
show.
It's in his name.
Great show.
I don't think he, I think, I agree with the sentiment that Acho is putting out there. The
We
execution.
just got to get the specifics.
Look, the analogies on it can help.
So how about what Paul Pierce, because you tweeted out what
Dude,
Paul
what Paul Pierce said
about Caitlin
was
Clark.
totally, yeah. Do we have that clip?
Yeah.
Let's play it.
Yeah, it's beyond that, Key. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. We saw a white girl in Iowa do it to a bunch of black girls.
Well, of course.
That made it like, oh, that gained my respect. That gained my respect.
I hear you. You're
like
right.
that's like, oh, she didn't do this to some other little white girls that was over here in Colorado, wherever. She did it to some girls from LSU
Yeah,
who we
she
thought
did.
was some dogs.
Defending champs.
And put them on their knee and spanked them.
Spanked them.
And so I know, but I didn't expect.
What do you think about that?
You know, probably one of the things that drives me the craziest. First off, wait till he hears about Luka Doncic and Jokic, like the best player in the NBA.
Those are Euros.
Yeah, best player in the NBA. The whitest of the white.
Who won the dunk contest?
Yeah, I just, nothing drives me up a wall more. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen Paul Pierce, pull the race card like a lot or cry racism. I mean, I think he was a hell of a player. But nothing drives me more up a wall than people who bring up race like this and then want to cry about racism. Like, don't on one hand tell me, hey, you shouldn't see, which I don't, like, you shouldn't see color, you shouldn't judge somebody on their race. But hey, I'm going to see race and we're just going to keep talking about it. Like, and what I got from that is, well, you don't respect white basketball players. Can you imagine if a white person said that about a black person in another area or anything like that? There would be marches, there would be parades, there would be a White House edict that gets sent out. It's amazing to me. And I saw a ton of backlash on this on Twitter. Like, and I tweeted out, again, don't bring up race, and then don't tell me not to look at race, and then all you do is bring up race. Like it's such a dumb thing. It's dividing people by, immutable characteristics in a sport where, look, I respect the game. I respect the skill, not the skin. Like, it's such low-hanging fruit.
Let me tell you why.
That's why I'm so sick of hearing people cry about it. So sick of hearing people cry about it. The level of oppression today is so small, and racism is not owned by one race. That's so narcissistic and arrogant to think that, in my opinion.
I'll tell you why I don't have a problem with it, because he's making a statement based off statistics, which by definition is racist, okay? But there's so many different versions and definitions of racism. Now, that's one of the problems that we honestly have. But the idea that you would assign group characteristics to an individual, that is racism. But what he's saying, hey, she gained my respect because she did this against a bunch of black girls, where in a way that if we said, hey, a white guy got drafted at corner, we would say, hey, we have even more respect for him, because statistically, most of the defensive backs that get drafted in the NFL are Black Americans, right? So I don't have as much of a problem with what he said. What I have a problem with is, like you're talking about, the double standard. The fact that Skip Bayless, who is sitting right to his left, couldn't make a statement to something to the effect of, well, I'm really proud of Angel Reese, and I gained respect for her because she scored a 1,600 on the SAT above all the Asians in her class.
Yeah.
That would also be making a statement based off statistics that most of the time Asians get higher scores, but if he said that, he would be fired.
Yeah.
That's the double standard that I think most people have a problem more than Paul Pierce saying, yeah, it was more, I gained more respect for her for beating a group of Black girls than white girls.
Yeah, now I will say, though, I think the gap statistically between white corners in the NFL and white people that play basketball are so far. I feel like it's such more of an anomaly, and it's almost...
It doesn't matter what the gap is. If it's a statistic and you're talking about the statistic, as long as it's not 100%, then you're making a statement based off a stat.
No, I get that argument. I just think if there's been so few white corners, we see this when they're talking about coaches in the NFL, even though it's totally different now. I just... When you're looking at basketball and you're looking at, I feel like this was a shot at the state of Iowa too. And honestly, it's a shot at the state of Colorado, if you heard what he said. Like, I just, the minute we start saying, oh, well, you played good against Black kids in basketball, so you must be better than any other white kid in basketball. I feel like, and that's that double standard that you're bringing up as well. That's the biggest problem. Statistically, yeah, I'm sick of the double standard. That's kind of where I fall on it with you. It's just, it's not necessary. I didn't think that was a necessary comment.
Well, yeah, the first thing I would do is never listen to anybody who wears glasses inside. Done sitting spring break my senior year of high school. So,
those glasses.
Yeah, I'm not.
Not your readers, if you're at home.
It feels race baity, doesn't it? It feels race baity, but I get it. All right, I get it. I mean, there's when it comes, especially to basketball, man, it's, and if you go to a school, kind of, Jake went to a school that's predominantly Black, you got to prove yourself.
Well, you got to prove yourself in every arena.
You got to prove yourself, and once you get respect, especially respect of your African American brothers in that school on that team, man, you can go a long way. But you got to prove yourself.
Now, if I sat here on this show and said, "Man, this Black kid did great against all these white kids, so now we got to think of him in a different light," it would go nuts. I'd be looked at like David Duke.
But that's not his fault for his statement, though.
No, I'm talking about in general.
That doesn't make his statement wrong. Like, the double standard is not, you can't put that.
No, I'm talking about the double standard in general. Like, I'm agreeing with you. Like, the double standard is the biggest problem. You can, again, certain people that look a certain way can say some things. Certain people that look another way can say other things. We agree with that wholeheartedly. She was on the other foot. We couldn't say it. They'd be storming the studio with torches and pitchforks.
What's the Booster Club saying?
All right, let's go to Sky Prize. It's the only thing more annoying than people who constantly talk about race or coworkers who constantly talk about their race. We don't care about your 5K or your 10K, Charlene. Just do your job.
Yeah, skill, content of character. That's what I'm looking at. Point guard, white, black, blue, green, yellow, it doesn't matter.
So to Brian, says people are also forgetting Reese had a hell of a game against Iowa. She was pretty damn good on the court.
Yeah, she's a really good player.
All right, let's go to Malcolm Martin. What's up, Malcolm? Says, guys, we make those statements all the time. You guys made a statement a few weeks ago about the white kid who was fast on the Chiefs. That's the point Cone is trying to make.
No, Cone's right. Like, Cone's right. Nobody's saying statistically that there's as many white corners as black corners. My whole thing is, I feel like in this arena, when you look at women's basketball in general, and I'll just use women's basketball, there's a lot of white people that play. There's a lot of black people that play. But my problem, again, is with the double standard of if I measured an African American's success due to their success against white people, that would be looked at as a racist thing I said. That's what it'd be looked at. But on the other foot, it's looked at as something that, hey, we can joke around about, or hey, that's funny or whatever. Not saying it's not true. You brought up statistically. Nobody said it's not true. But I just wish that if we could talk about it, that we could all talk about it in that light and there's not certain
The funny thing
penalties
is,
for
it's
individuals.
not true. It's not the statement that all black girls are better at basketball than white girls is not true.
No, that's not what
Just
I'm saying.
Statistically, most of the time, when you're making selections at the very end of the distribution curve, that is true. This is
agree
something
with
that
that.
Jordan Peterson has pointed out for years that he is constantly getting slammed about. The other part of this is if you wanted to say, well, Paul Pierce shouldn't say something like this on a sports network, that's completely different take, and I could understand that. Whereas if Paul Pierce said this at the beginning of a stand-up comedy act and said, man, that Caitlin Clark, that white girl, she beat a bunch of black girls too.
For sure.
All of us would be in a comedy house laughing.
Without a doubt.
He'd have to finish the joke, but
Yeah.
it would be a great setup for a joke. Why would we laugh? Because there's a grain of truth in it.
Without a
he's
doubt.
saying.
No, without a doubt. And I mean, it's, again, the difference in, well, you want to talk about a stand-up routine, I think half of what Skip Bayless says is a joke anyway. But yeah, it's knowing where you're at.
Let's go to KY Wildcat fan. Said Paul Pierce literally crapped his pants in the middle of a game and had to be wheelchaired out.
Is
You
that
expect me to
true?
listen to this guy?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Was that the game where they wheeled him out and then he came back in the game?
I
There
don't
was
know.
a game where Paul Pierce got hurt, and I think it was a pretty big game if I'm remembering correctly. And everybody's like, oh no, KG and them were like, oh no, one of the our big time guys is out. They put him in a wheelchair, wheel him off the court, and he comes back and plays in the same game. I've never seen somebody leave in a wheelchair or a stretcher and come back and play, which I think is just absolutely fascinating. All right, one more.
Let's go to Nurse Court. Okay, I don't know if she's talking about the room that Angel Reese was in or the room that we're in. She says, room full of non-athletes, and it's obvious. 17 to 8-year-old guys crying about losing their high school games, but she's wrong for complaining.
Played at Michigan, played at South Alabama, played at Western Colorado.
I didn't follow it completely.
I wonder if she's talking about the reporters. Maybe it's asking the question. Look, I don't think anybody is saying that. Again, I said I thought she was telling the truth. I think she really feels that way. My whole point is, and I think there's a lot of merit to what other people are saying, is if you are going to dish it out, you have got to be able to understand that people are going to come at you harder when you fall. That's just part of it. And I think Angel Reese knows that. Nobody's saying you can't complain, but nobody's telling me I have to sit here and agree with it. You can't on one hand say she can complain and say whatever she wants, but oh no, you can't have your opinion on it.
I'm just trying to imagine what would have happened if Floyd Mayweather Jr., maybe one of the greatest trash talkers, the greatest embrace of the villain,
or Conor McGregor.
I've ever seen, or Conor McGregor, cried at the podium after a loss, not just because they lost or it's the end of their career, but then turned around and said, "Man, I'm just under constant attack. Everyone's always attacking me."
Yeah, it's and again. I feel bad for the coal miners out there that are not making any money, basically having to go down in the coal mines. You're a millionaire, you can complain, that's fine, but we have to teach our young people that for every action there's an equal opposite reaction. That's just how it works. So I don't I'm not sure where Court's coming from there.
All right, I've got 4 reactions for us here. You guys want them now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's start with Bo Nix. Bo Nix was asked about the difference between playing in the SEC and the Pac-12. Do we have that clip?
What was the biggest difference between being a starter in SEC school and a starter out west?
In a sense, the hostility and maybe the unhealthy pressure that is added to 18 to 22-year-olds by outside noise and fans. It's almost like an unhealthy obsession in the South. I mean, I was that way growing up. I thought it was, life or death football. And you move out here and, you play the game as hard as you can and you got great passion for the game. And, it's just a little bit more laid back in a way. And it's a lot more we're proud of the person you are out there on the field. And if you give a great effort and if you try really hard and obviously we're out there to win. Nobody goes out there to lose and look bad in front of a bunch of people. But I think that's the difference, quite frankly, is what is put into college football in the South, and then how out here football is just a game, and we find the joy in it.
I was kind of surprised to hear Bo say that. Not that, look, if you're going to make the argument that football's way more important in the South than it is on the West Coast. Yeah, well, there's a reason why, the southern part of the United States tends to do better in college football. They care more. Like that's kind of our thing. I'm just, part of me, and Bo Nix, like you said, he grew up in it. Part of me is like, yeah, listen, you can say maybe it's an unhealthy obsession, but like a lot of the places, where we grew up in the South, that it's like that with college football, and like the town runs on the football team. Like it's almost like the crop that makes the money, or like what puts, nobody would know where Auburn is or what it is if the football team what they were. I feel like he's framing it in everybody in the South is just a crazy person. Like there's people that care about you as a person, and I mean at a place like Auburn, which is toxic sometimes, yeah, especially when it's not going good. But I feel like college athletes nowadays, man, and look, I don't consider these guys kids. Like that's the first thing. Like we act like they're 12 years old. Like what you're signing up for. One of the reasons that all those, like that environment's so cool and why you're famous and why you're popular and all these things is because of that. So I feel like there's some good and bad on both sides. You don't ever want to overdo anything. But I was kind of surprised to see Bo Nix say this.
Well, Bo's a fan of the show. He might be listening right now for all we know. And he clearly didn't run from the SEC because he had his best years at Oregon. I think he broke the completion percentage record. But your thoughts on what he had to say?
Well, when it comes to football, I don't want you if you're not obsessed. I don't think you can reach the highest pinnacle you want to reach if you're not obsessed with what you want to do. To be honest with you, this was soft to me. This was a soft take. I think there's a reason why the Pac-12 hadn't won shit in 20 years. Last national championship was 2004. Right, and that's Washington. They beat USC 55-19. Yeah, it's different.
But is it soft of Bo Nix if what he's just is he just speaking the truth though? I mean, he was asked about the difference. He's saying that's the difference. Do we agree that's the difference? He didn't say I like it out here better.
God, it felt like it.
Yeah, it did.
It felt like it when he said it.
I'm just trying to think.
It's not as much pressure. Look, dog, go back to C.J. Stroud. Pressure is a privilege. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen.
Yeah.
All right, you want to be a quarterback in the SEC, you're basically a movie star, buddy. Either you perform, crap or get off the pot. You got off the pot and you had a great career at Oregon. And we're super happy for you, Bo. And I hope you do great things in the NFL. But that was just a soft take to me.
If I'm a GM, like
I want you obsessed. I want it unhealthy as possible. I want to have to get you out of the film room. Go home,
Tom
sleep.
Brady.
That's what I want.
Breaking iPad.
Yeah.
It's not like it's like an unhealthy obsession with just eating Snickers and.
You want to see an unhealthy upset? Look what Tom Brady did to until he was 45.
Like
He couldn't even retire and play golf with his kids.
No, obsessed.
Like I want you like stalker obsessed with it. Like why are you walking around the facility? Like just listening to music before we open the doors. Like I want you to want that. Like I don't know. That surprised me when I saw that.
All right, 3 more here. Let's take a look at the called balls here. This is clip 12. Pitches right down the middle that were called balls. I can't wait to hear what he has to say about this.
Look, guys, let me go and say this real quick. If you've never been behind the plate umping,
you can't miss that.
Oh,
you can't miss that.
That ball's coming so fast.
You can't miss that.
So fast, right down the middle. That's a strike, man.
I know, but I umped for a little bit.
He said, umpire said inside, outside, that's right down the pipe.
Come on. You weren't calling that a ball, were you?
No.
You got to call it.
Tough.
Right down the middle for ball 3.
You got to call it.
So robot umps?
See, the catcher hurt him on
crossed him.
Catcher hurt him, but he still caught the ball.
I need the ump to do his job, though.
That's right down the
middle. Wow, that was right down the middle.
Go talk to him,
any
catcher.
team in baseball since the All-Star break.
Watch this one. He's walking away. He was walking away.
It's like, oh, my hamstring. See, that one, I can understand that one.
Well, these are really bad jobs by catcher framing baseball.
This is what I've always said. And again, these guys chose to do this professionally, so then I'm going to choose to critique you. You wanted to do this, so, we expect a certain standard. The catcher can move, right? The catcher can move. Inside, outside, down the middle, up, down. The plate doesn't move.
Mm-hmm.
The plate. Now, are you going to miss some calls? Yeah. Ones that are on the edge, and these guys are so good. And there's umpires that'll open their strike zone up a little bit if they realize like the pitcher is controlling, the ball that well. I just don't know how you miss the ones that are right down the pipe. I don't care if the catcher is set up inside, outside, whatever. You know where that plate is. You know where that zone is. There's a couple that most of those are egregious to me. That's egregious.
I just can't believe this guy's over here defending umpires.
Look. When it comes to baseball umpires, I can't imagine, dog. I can't imagine.
You want robots.
I can't imagine.
Kyle Schwarber, you are out there.
I can't imagine just, for one, how fast that baseball's going. So fast. Even the batters can barely see it, the umpire
Nobody's doubting.
can barely see it. Those fastballs right down the middle, inexcusable. I'll get that. But a slider, a sinker.
There wasn't a slider in that. Those
But
were
some
all
of those
heaters,
some of those pitches, you can sit here and say, okay, I get it.
No, two of them.
I get it.
Two. There was two, and one of them was the one where
if you cross the catcher, from an umpire standpoint, that's almost an automatic ball.
See, to me, that's
He's still got to do his job.
I disagree.
I know, but it confuses the ump.
I disagree with that. The crossing the catcher. If you throw a strike, and it's call it a strike.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a ball, call it a ball. What if that was a 3-2 count in the World Series with the bases loaded? He crossed the catcher and threw a fastball right down the middle.
So y'all want robot umpires?
No,
you wanted
robot umpires.
Well, y'all don't want any mistakes.
Yeah, be better.
No,
let's strive for excellence. I want you obsessed,
again,
right?
I'm not saying no mistakes. I'm just saying don't make the ultimate mistake. It's like shooting in the wrong goal. To me, that's like shooting in the wrong goal.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that you had a bad experience as an umpire. What happened?
No, I had a good experience.
You had a bad experience.
I had to toss a guy.
Whose daddy came out there?
No, I've had to toss some friends.
Blain's got.
Yeah, I had to toss some.
How'd that go?
Blain's got jumped in the parking lot by middle-aged men.
Oh, yeah.
Not great.
All right, two more here. Sounds like the Rockets, I don't know if this stat's still true, but as of a couple days ago, the Rockets were 8-0 since the state of Texas banned Pornhub. This is a little stat that I saw that I thought was interesting.
They're 8-0?
You know, Rangers winning the World Series.
They're 8-0?
The Rockets were 8-0.
We found a new energy.
Yeah.
We're so energized.
Celibate wins, guys.
Go FAP.
Yeah.
Did Texas ban Pornhub completely, or is it
I don't know.
thing, or what?
I don't know. I've been to Texas in a while.
I'll tell you, you're not going back. SEC Media Days are in Dallas.
Yeah, golly. Should be running around the hotel. Look, you got to hold on to. Some people have rally monkey, right?
Oh, God.
Some people have the different super. Hold on.
What?
Different superstitions.
A rally monkey?
The Angels. You remember rally monkey? Some people. Hey, we're winning when we ban Pornhub. Right?
Yeah,
It's
we're
never
winning,
coming
just
back.
everyone's pissed.
Yeah, we're winning, but God, why does everybody look so?
Now we need to
Everyone's
check in
so
on what
pissed.
we need to check in on what the Mavs are doing.
We need to
Hopefully
check
they haven't gone on an 0.
We need to check on whoever.
They actually did the opposite. They all started OnlyFans.
Someone needs to check on
the
that.
Astros hadn't won yet.
That's true. Well, listen, no Pride Night for the Rangers
I
in the World
know.
Series. No Pornhub.
There's a theme.
In Texas, while the Rockets are blasting off.
All right, last reaction here. Patrick Mahomes sounds just like Kenny Powers.
Oh, this is great.
Have we not noticed
this is
before?
great. This is great. They do sound like exactly alike. Some people said Kermit the Frog, too. All right, we're having an issue with the clip.
Just understand that it's hilarious.
Yeah, trust me. Believe you me. It's funny. All right, let's. We got the phone lines open up. We're gonna get back to that clip here in a minute. But something else that you need to believe me on is wherever you're getting your meat from, if it's not Good Ranchers, you're missing strikes right down the middle. Okay, this is the easiest layup of all time, every sports reference possible. It's hard to find quality, affordable American meat at the grocery store these days. Emphasis on the word affordable, also emphasis on the word quality. That's why we choose the convenience and safety of having all of our meat delivered from Good Ranchers as the #1 American meat delivery service in the U.S. That's right, they're running shop now, boys and girls. Good Ranchers brings 100% American beef, chicken, pork, and wild-caught seafood right to your door, relieving you from the grocery store chaos and parking lot nightmares. And right now, during their March Meatness event, Good Ranchers is offering you free jumbo chicken wings for a year.
Really?
With any subscription.
Free?
Let me read that again.
Me so sorry.
Yeah, me so sorry, but also me so happy. Free jumbo chicken wings for a year.
Woo.
A year full of free wings. Angels don't even get that with any subscription. So make delicious dinners, game time favorites, and grill out staples with the 2 pounds of free wings you'll get in each box when you subscribe. So claim that $150 value of free wings plus an additional, there's more. It's a Billy Zane situation. You get $20 off with code BOOSTER at goodranchers.com today. That's goodranchers.com with promo code BOOSTER to enjoy the March Meatness savings. Good Ranchers, American meat delivered. And now I wasn't going to make a March Meatness joke with the Houston Rockets thing. And I didn't do that, and I'm proud of myself, David.
Great constraint.
All right, let's get to the Booster
Big
Club.
shout out, Corn Jerkers. All right, let's go to Starvin Marvin. So somehow, I do not think his Bo Nix statement is wrong. I think his point is you may not get death threats at Oregon the way you do at Auburn if you lose a game.
No, nobody's down. There's more passion. There's a reason the slogan of the conference is it just means more. Nobody is saying that out west it is as passionate about college football as it is in the South. What we're saying is I don't want that frame of mind from my quarterback of, oh no, there's so much pressure. Oh, everybody's going to hate me if I don't do good. They're also going to super duper love me if I do well. It's the mindset of that I think is what we're saying. If we were the GM of the team or something like that, I don't want you thinking that way. Why do people leave California then to go play in the South? I want guys like Bryce Young. I want to leave where I'm at to go play at a big-time place. Guy like C.J. Stroud. I'm going to leave where I'm at to go play at a big-time place like Ohio State. I want guys that want the smoke. And I'm not saying Bo doesn't want to play or that he's scared. That's why I was surprised by that comment. I just don't want that thought in your mind as my quarterback. And I think y'all agree with that.
Let's go to Ruka617. He says, I wouldn't touch Bo Nix with a 10-foot pole. This guy's a soft football player that won't be able to handle the pressure.
Wow.
There's bust written all over him.
Look, Rook, I mean, do you, man. Do you. I'm rooting for him. I hope he goes to a situation that behooves him. And, I do think maturity-wise, he is a little bit ahead of where some of the other guys are. But I'm rooting for him. I'm just, it's one comment, right? It's one comment on one podcast that I disagree with.
Let's go to Tumbleweed1477. Said, I kind of like Bo, but no more. You wonder why the South has great football? Well, we know, Bo. We take it seriously, and winning is the most fun. So bye-bye, Bo Nix.
I'm not a violent man.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's your fault.
It's your fault. Step off the scale, son.
All right, let's go to Don J27. Don, what's up, man? Good to see you in the chat. Says, fellas, where do you think Bo's going to go in the draft, and how do you think his NFL career will be?
He'll go in the first round.
I think those two things go hand in hand. Do I think Bo Nix is a guy that needs to go be the starter right now at an NFL team? You're going to get some sort of return like you did with C.J. Stroud? I mean, you never say never, but I think he's in that. If you look at this draft class, there's a top tier, then there's a second tier that's really good. I think Bo Nix is at the top of the second tier as far as what type of NFL quarterback he'll be. I think he's got all the tools. The question, to me for Bo Nix is with his legs and his creative ability with his legs, is that something that's going to lead to turnovers? Is he going to be a little bit more gunslingerish than what people think? But I think Bo's going to be fine. He's played a lot of football, man. He's seen a lot, and I'm rooting for him. I hope he ends up somewhere. I know Denver just moved on from Russell Wilson, and they've made some different moves there, but you just feel like, if there's a place where he can go sit behind a guy for a couple of years, Bo will have a chance.
He can do a lot of the things Baker Mayfield can do.
I agree with that.
I think Baker Mayfield, the type of success he had this past year would be like a ceiling for Bo, and a floor would be kind of like a Zach Wilson. I think Bo's better than Zach Wilson.
I think he is too. I'd take Bo over Zach Wilson. All right, I'm going to run this clip real quick. The phone lines are open. I'm going to get to him in a second. 1-855-236-3228. Let's play this clip of Patrick Mahomes, a.k.a. Kenny Powers.
No, so we started off, they actually threw a nice party for us at the hotel. The Chainsmokers came through, DJ Khaled came through. I had the damn Spoon Man from the Soundgarden videos coming my oh, yeah. Talking 6 grills burning at all times. Tiki torches, 3 whole pigs, loads of macaroni and cheeses, baked potatoes, collard greens.
Oh,
dude,
guy. They're the same guy.
It's like, it's not just that they sound alike, it's the cadence in which they talk. Mm-hmm. Like kind of almost sped up a little bit.
I still think when Kenny Powers got called out of the bullpen and he's holding on to the fence.
Yeah.
And the fence swing out, that's the funniest.
Yeah, that is one.
That's the funniest thing I've seen.
Well, we have our own version of that every Wednesday on Humping Badger Wednesday.
It's not.
Oh, yeah.
It is. David tells people to get off his lawn. They need to get off of it. And I'm very interested, and I kind of already know who I think he's going to tell to get off his lawn today. So, David, you octogenarian stuck in a middle-aged man's body.
Octogenarian?
Yeah, that's the biggest word I know. Who's getting off your lawn today, David?
The University of Florida students attempting to cancel Lady Ballers need to get off my lawn.
Get off, Gator.
Lady Ballers identifies as a brave and beautiful film, which means it exists beyond the scope of criticism and cancellation. Furthermore, the three of us did not pour our hearts and souls into this cinematic masterpiece only for bigoted, vile, insensitive college students to despicably desecrate its promotional material. This aggression will not stand, which is why you will see myself, along with Jackie and Blair, in Gainesville this Thursday evening, April 4th, to defend the screening of this monumental movie by the Florida chapter of the Young America's Foundation. I also hear there will be free pizza. What's more American than that? Hilarious film, saving women's sports, free pizza, the three of us, maybe Blain doing your taxes. If that sounds to you like an evening deserving of dissolution, then get off my lawn.
Yes.
Love
yes.
it. Love
You're not
it.
smart enough to figure out how to get chalk off a cement surface, then
I'll
I
do
don't
your
feel like you
taxes.
should drive a car.
Blain will do your
I'll
taxes.
do your taxes, brother. I'll do them, I swear. Keeping all the money, brother.
Thing is like your thing now? This is your...
Y'all don't know who Sketch is?
The streamer?
Yeah.
I mean, I know of him. I just didn't know he said that. I'm down with it. I like it. I'll sketch out.
It's always like the ones dressed in all black.
You think
Yeah,
so?
they always look the same.
There's never any baddies. There's never any baddies out there pouring water on top.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I never
You
is.
never see that. You're like, wow, man, there's that 10 that's protesting.
You know what? I'll pretend to
Like
listen
she's too
to
busy
you
getting
for a
her
little
picture
bit.
taken.
You know, I'll pretend. I'll pretend to care. If you're hot,
You'll pretend?
I'll pretend to care.
How long will you deal with it?
I mean, how many chili dogs is it going to take?
Yeah. I don't know. You saw I hit 3 the first inning. Shout out Kent Murphy.
You talking about the Renegade?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, God. The Renegade just makes me feel like my stomach hurts. All right.
We'll be there.
Rock and roll, Dave?
We'll be there. Let's do it. Let's go straight to Matthew in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because I need to find out what's really going on. Talk to us, man.
What's up, y'all? It is the Heartbroken Hog. Once again, coming to y'all from a very dark room.
Heartbroken Hog here.
Hey, Matthew, just your opening thoughts on it, and then do you think we were trying to change the narrative?
Okay, here's on my thoughts on that exactly. Okay, so recently, Hunter Yurachek, did y'all see the video he
Yeah,
put out
talked
of him
about it.
getting on the bus with
I didn't see
Musselman?
it.
Yeah, I saw it.
They saw it.
The thing is apparently that was a video from when he first came to the school a few years ago, and they just edited and added the last part with him saying, "Oh, you're still here." Then Hunter Yurachek goes on some podcast I've never even heard of the other day to say that whole video was just something he put out to quiet down the rumors about Musselman, and he's our coach right now, but he might not be tomorrow, is actually what he said in the video.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the USC news comes out. So a lot of people are actually really upset with Hunter Yurachek. They think there's a division between him and Musselman. There's been a lot more talk I've heard this year in general about Musselman being a hard person to work with. That he's just hard on people. So I think that might have been what he was talking about there.
Well, it's amazing. Like, you have one bad season, and then all of a sudden you're hard on people.
Well,
Right?
it's
Like no one heard any of this when they were winning. He wasn't hard on people when they were winning. One bad season. Y'all think Nick Saban's nice to people?
Yeah.
No. You know why no one says anything to him? Because he wins.
yeah.
That's what Eric Musselman did. But you have one bad year, now all of a sudden he's too hard on people.
Yeah, well, it's look, it's a lot easier to brush things under the rug when you're having success. You know that people say sunlight's the best disinfectant. Sometimes I think losing is the best disinfectant in some things. But again, and I think this goes back a little bit to what we were talking about with Angel Reese. Like if you're gonna be that guy, if you're gonna be that hard boss, if you're gonna be that the villain or somebody that's really, really pushes people or wants to intimidate to your advantage, then when it doesn't go good, you have to be, it can't just all fall apart. It just seems like there was just two huge rocks with one small wedge in between it, and if one person pushed that wedge, then it all come falling apart. Because this just feels like there's been something the whole year, Matthew. That's what it feels like with me.
There really has. And the rumors about Muss leaving have kind of hung over the program all year long as well.
No, I know.
So
I mean,
it just kind of seems like all of it coming to a head. Like, I think he's gone. I don't think there's any chance.
You think he's gone?
That news would not have come out if he wasn't gone.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, there's different ways to be hard to work with. Like, are you a disrespectful diva and people don't like working with you, rightly so? Or, like, to Blain's point, are you a perfectionist who just kind of demands excellence from everyone, and the people who have a proclivity towards laziness really don't like that around you? Do you get a sense, you know, like, what specifically is being said about working with Musselman?
Oh, no.
I think it's more the latter. He's a perfectionist. He demands so much from everyone around him.
You should want that as a
Personally,
fan.
Also, I think he is going to get more money. Juracek also mentioned how he thought he was well compensated, was part of the reason there hadn't been a contract extension. I think USC gives him top 10 salary money.
I just can't see a world where Sam Pittman gets another year.
That's what I'm saying.
But Musselman...
Yeah, because you wanted to win too bad.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm an AD, if that is the case, and you know, we're not behind closed doors, but if I'm the AD, that's the guy I want. Because if I'm the AD, I'm not going there coaching the front court or the wide receivers. I'm giving you athletic direction. All right? Like, I want all my coaches to be like that because it gives you the best chance to win.
So quickly, Matthew, before we move on, give us your top 3 list. Who do you want to fill that void?
I mean, I would really like to see Chris Beard, considering what he's done at Ole Miss. Here, I'll tell y'all what Blake Lavelle said. A couple months ago, he went on Tuss Talk with Ty Hudson, and he said one of his top 3 most trusted guys told him at the end of the season, Musselman is leaving Arkansas, and they're going to offer Chris Beard, and that Chris Beard would be interested and is probably going to take the job. Now, that was before the extension happened, but I've also seen some people say that they don't think, they don't think Chris Beard actually signed the extension.
Really? Well, that's going to be...
That's news.
Rumors, so.
What about Will Wade? What about Will Wade?
I mean, I haven't watched Will Wade's teams. I've only heard good things. So, I mean, I just know we need a guy who can get us back in the tournament. That's all I know.
Yeah, because y'all have made runs when y'all have, Matthew. Thanks, buddy. Good luck.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Matthew.
Heart gets mended.
Have a good one, y'all.
See you, bud.
All right, that line's now open. Someone else call in. All right, we got Ben in Missouri. Ben, what's going on?
Hey, guys, I think it's fitting that I come in after a heartbroken hog because I might need to change my call sign to better reflect, where I'm at. Because, of course, shout out Northwest Missouri State. I started off with Bearcat. But after hearing Heartbroken Hog, gloat about the Chiefs a few weeks ago, I think I need to change mine to Broken Heart Bronco here in Kansas City.
Yeah. Golly. You guys. And at least y'all had that run with, like, Terrell Davis and Elway and them because it didn't.
That's right.
And then obviously
Broncos,
Peyton.
And they're going to, and the Broncos said they're going to put out new uniforms here on the 22nd. So we're going to see. Hopefully they don't screw that up.
Our director Trey will be excited about that.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But I was going to talk to you guys. You guys might be getting a baseball team in Nashville here pretty soon.
Oh, I know.
Yesterday, Kansas City voted down that tax.
Yeah, we saw that.
And I know that their owner's a Kansas City guy, but I mean they're going to go to the highest bidder. I think if Nashville really wants one, they could make a shot. But I was gonna originally call to I was listening to Jake. You're going on about Auburn. Yesterday, and I think the more that I listen to you, the more that Auburn and Missouri fans might be pretty similar in terms of the Spider-Man gift that's going around, because we both can't have more than one nice thing at a time with the football and basketball stuff. We lose in the most heartbreaking ways, with the how Missouri lost to Auburn last time, then the way 4th and 31. And then, some of our fan base likes to bellyache whenever we're sitting here saying we need to have more success on just a general level.
Yeah. Well, look, I think there's a lot of fan bases that can kind of relate, to what I was saying. And again, it's not that you're going to win every game, or not that you're expected to pull through every single time, But like, I also expect you to pull through sometimes, like in the postseason, and specifically the postseason. I'm not talking about the regular season. It's okay to be a good program and want greatness in the postseason. And if that doesn't get achieved for a while, not a one-off, then saying, hey, we need to do better. I mean, guys are making millions of dollars. You know, you expect when you have the support of like Missouri and like Auburn, when you don't do things in the postseason for a while, right, and you seem to always choke in the biggest moments, it has to be called out. And if not, then you're going to die or just slide into mediocrity. And that's what happens. I mean, I think there's I've had people from different fan bases say, man, I feel exactly the same way about my school. Now, some schools are more sensitive to critiques than others, right? Like some coaches will get upset. Some coaches will unfollow you on social media. Some coaches don't even listen to it because it doesn't help them or hurt them. So I think there's some similarities with a lot of programs, man.
I think, I mean, they want half the fan base here in Missouri just seems to be, you know, kind of like what you said with the expectations at Ole Miss. It's like some people are happy with, 8, 9 win seasons, and then maybe we go on the occasional, Cotton Bowl run like we did this year. But, with Missouri, we've proven that we can do it before. I mean, our first couple years in the SEC, we go to Atlanta. We've been to Atlanta 2 more times than Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't been there for nearly as long. So when I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, we know we can do it. It's just that we slide into mediocrity. We'll have 1 or 2 good years, at least on the football side, and then slide into mediocrity for the next 5 or 6 years. And then with basketball, I mean, there's no more Jekyll and Hyde than the last 2 years for us.
For sure. For sure.
And keep in mind that stadium renovation, Ben, that stadium renovation tax, that sales tax that you were talking about that got voted down by the Kansas City residents, that not only affects the Royals, but the Chiefs too. I mean, the Chiefs are threatening to leave Kansas City, which I could never see happening.
No, they'll
like
revote
the foundation
that tax.
of the AFL.
They'll revote that tax.
But they're talking about going across the border to Kansas.
Yeah, they're talking about going to Kansas. And you know what? As a vested Broncos fan and an avid Chiefs hater, I legit could. I don't care at all. Like, I'm here for it.
I thought that was your response.
I'm here with my popcorn. I'm ready for them to leave. I know people who are huge Mizzou fans saying that if the Chiefs move to Kansas, they'll never go to a game again because they won't spend a dime in Kansas. It's great.
They say that. They say that.
I wonder how many people think Kansas City's actually in Kansas.
It's not?
No.
Well, Donald Trump did whenever the Chiefs won 54.
Yeah.
Chiefs won their first Super Bowl there with Mahomes. He sent out a tweet saying, like, congrats to the Chiefs in the great state of Kansas. And I'm just like, oh, brother.
It's almost. I've lived out there. But Ben, thanks,
brother.
buddy. We'll see. I would love for
Please bring MLB
the Nashville Flaming Dragons.
I get to throw out the first pitch of the season. Come on.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Blain gets to pitch the first inning of the season.
I love it. I'm hitting every batter.
No, 3 strikeouts. I believe you.
3.
Appreciate it, Ben.
You get those humps.
All right, let's go to Tony in Atlanta. Tony, talk to us.
Tony.
You got my gabagool.
Morning, boys.
What's up, dude?
What's up, dude?
Stop copying what I say.
Excuse me.
He's not talking.
Speaking of Nashville, I'll be going out to Nashville here in a couple of days. So I was wondering any recommendations for restaurants and places to go.
What do you like?
I know I'm up for anything. I mean, I'm going to the Preds game on the 4th. So
okay. All right. Well, but
that's the only thing we have locked in. So
okay. Speaking about locked in.
You like hot chicken? Because every place has hot chicken.
Martin's Barbecue.
That's
gotta hit that.
In there.
Yeah.
Harper's
one time.
Harper's Steakhouse is really good.
Harper's is good.
Porker.
If you're the peg leg porker, yeah. Are you like trying to go like bar tacos legit? Are you trying to like go have like a nice meal with a
barbecue?
You're up for barbecue? Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. Would you want to go to a sports bar?
Probably not. Just
okay.
Just
I was gonna say Neighbors kicks ass, but yeah, I would say if you're gonna go sit down and have like a nice meal, you're trying to fancy it up a little bit. Harper's is a good move, but you can't go wrong with bar taco, man.
If you're on barbecue, it's peg leg
or Martin's.
But you're coming from Atlanta, right?
Yes.
I mean, you have the best. He has the bar tacos right there. That's where it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Brown's.
Saint Anejo is good.
What is it?
Saint Anejo.
Saint Anejo. I've never been there, Tony, so if it's bad, it's Justine's fault.
Drifters is really good.
Right.
Plenty of places up here to eat, man.
Yeah. Well, let us know, man.
Yeah, all right, we'll do.
Casa de Cone.
All right.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, there's some. I heard there's some.
Go have some fun on Broadway, dude.
See you, man.
Leave the Broadway girls
Turn
alone.
into a city boy, a city shitty boy.
All right, let's go to King Don in Little Rock. King Don, what's up?
The Arkansas.
God. What about Jordan Love?
Hi, y'all.
What's up, man?
First off, Blain, you do realize that one of the guys you work for wears glasses, right?
What do you say?
Something about glasses.
Something about glasses. Somebody wears glasses.
Yeah, Blain, you work for a guy who wears glasses.
I said no sunglasses.
King Don.
Inside, King Don.
Okay.
Sunglasses inside.
Don't come on here
he said
and try to twist my words.
That's why. That's
all
why
right.
I said what I said.
All right.
So we're not talking about readers.
The main reason I'm calling in is to ask why A&M is so mid at everything.
Texas A&M.
Yeah. I'm an A&M fan, and it's just annoying. We're always like good, but not great at everything.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, you guys have kind of been the ultimate tease. I'll say this. I think Mike Elko, and we're going to talk about this as we get closer to college football season, which is every day now. I think Texas A&M football is in the best position it's been in a while. Not just.
Every year.
It's not every year. I said they were going to 8-4 last year. You pretend like I sit here and say A&M's going to win the national championship.
All right.
I've never said that. It's like when you know what? Here's what I'll say. Mike Elko, you guys have been like the pretty girl at the dance a lot because of recruiting, but you're better when you're sneaky. Like I think Texas A&M will be sneaky this year. The expectations for A&M is not like, oh, #1 recruiting class in the history of the solar system. You guys are going to be up there with Bama and Georgia and everything like that. I think Mike Elko coming in, it's not super flashy. You're going to be gritty. You're going to be tough, and you're going to be sneaky. I think Texas A&M will have the ability to sneak up on some people early while Mike Elko's there. And I like Connor Wegman a lot. But it's hard for me to sit here and say, you know, A&M is... You guys are it's like that movie Almost Famous, man. Like it's like that in everything.
King Don, you're an A&M fan?
Yeah.
In Little Rock.
You are? That explains
In Little Rock, wow.
That explains a lot.
Enemy territory.
Okay. I get it.
I saw a Texas A&M fan posted about the Arkansas news yesterday. He said there's like 12 A&M fans, so hopefully they'll all call in.
Well, yeah, well,
or Arkansas fans.
How deep is the hate between A&M and Arkansas? King Don, how deep is the hate between those two?
It's deep, brother.
Not 100% sure, but I bet you if I weren't A&M shaped the school, I wouldn't come back.
My dad went to law school at Arkansas.
Yeah.
It's deep, man.
Like you hear what Bo Nix, like I hear King Don saying this, and like I just having Bo Nix, what he said, roll over in my head. It's like kids are afraid to wear like other schools. You know, the school they cheers for is stuff to their school, but that's what makes it great. But King Don, it's one of the great parts about the SEC, man. Everybody just deep down just hates everybody. If we're going to be honest, everybody just hates everybody.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, King Don.
Auburn is the absolute worst.
He said Auburn's the absolute worst. I think A&M also hates everybody, too.
Yeah.
I think A&M tries to play.
I just don't think A&M gets to make fun of anybody. That's what I think. When you have grown men out there in overalls doing the goofiest shit I've ever seen in my
y'all
life.
can make fun of us.
Huh?
Hey, let's go A&M. Come on, girls. Yeah, I'm King Don Sobek.
Good.
Come on, guys. Yeah.
King Don,
Let me do the worst 15-minute stand-up gig ever. I'm not funny. Let's go.
Kick 'em.
Kick 'em, guys. Yeah.
Let me
rather. See you, buddy. Have a good day at school. King Don, we love.
See you, King Don.
We love you, buddy. Appreciate it.
love you, man.
Oh, my.
All right, let's go to Steve in Ohio. Steve, what's up, man?
Stevie?
On the line. Steve, are you on the line?
Steve.
There.
What's up, Steve? What's up, dude?
Oh my God! It's been a month since I've been able to get through.
You're here.
You're
The
here.
trust tree.
All right, we got Jake versus Blain for one, the other, or both.
Good. Who do I have to guess which disc golfer won what, broke what record, while Blain gets to pick like quarterbacks?
before we start the game, though, we need to give a shout-out to Cody for subbing for me. Since I've been working late.
Attaboy, Cody.
Shout out to Cody.
Let's go, Steve.
Blain's locked.
All right, Jake, for the home team.
Okay.
You get to pick between football and baseball.
Football.
Okay, cool. All right, Blain, you get to go first. Get the baseball questions. Your stat is over 3,000 career games played by Hall of Famers.
Okay.
All right. One is Willie Mays. The other is Cal Ripken Jr.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Layup.
All right, Jake. Your stat is over 80 career receiving touchdowns by Hall of Famers.
Okay.
And your first one is Fred Biletnikoff. The other is Calvin Johnson.
Biletnikoff.
All right, Blain, back to you.
Mm-hmm.
One is Eddie Murray. The other is Robin Yount.
Eddie Murray. I didn't know Eddie Murphy played baseball.
He was great.
So one is Eddie Murray and the other one is who?
Robin Yount.
Robin Yount. Great player. It feels like both to me.
Jake.
It feels like both to me, Steve.
Oh, you're going to say both?
I'm going to say both, Steve. Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
What do you think? Is that the right answer?
Don't tell him, Steve. Don't let him use his mind tricks on you.
Find out here in a few minutes.
Good, Steve. Good deflection.
All right, Jake.
Yes.
One is Isaac Bruce. The other is James Lofton.
That's a fire-ass name.
Both.
All right.
Weirdo.
Blain, our last one. One is Dave Winfield. The other is Carl Yastrzemski.
You scream. No. Give me Dave Winfield.
Blain just fluked his way.
All right, Jake.
Yeah.
Your last one. One is Paul Warfield. The other is Andre Reed.
Give me Andre Reed.
All right. Now, you both have an opportunity to change one answer.
Which one should I change, Steve? Come on, Steve.
You tell me, Blain.
I'm good. I'm sticking with mine.
I'm going to stick with mine as well.
All right. We are at a 0-0 tie.
Wait, we missed them all?
0-0?
All three. Yeah, both of you missed all three.
Well, damn.
Wait.
How many games did Cal Ripken play?
Yeah. Was the Cal Ripken one not right?
You think you had to say both?
All right. Well, I do have a tiebreaker. And
all right.
Since you're the home team, you get to answer.
Okay.
All right. My tiebreaker question, it just so happened this time, the tiebreaker question is a baseball question.
Okay.
All right. And Jake, I can tell you now the tiebreaker question will never be both. It's either going to be one or the other.
Okay.
Stat for the tiebreaker is over 2,500 total bases for active players.
Okay.
And this is prior to the start of 2024.
Okay.
One is Mookie Betts. The other is Nick Castellanos.
You said total bases? I got to go Mookie Betts.
It's Mookie Betts!
Got to go Mookie Betts.
All right, Jake. Your tiebreaker answer was correct. It was
yes! Yeah, real tough, Steve.
It's a dub, Steve.
Yeah, I'm glad
it's a dub, Steve.
Yeah, I'm glad the tiebreaker question was a layup.
Hey, no.
I don't even get to answer? What is this, the old NFL playoffs?
Look, I'm the home team. I'm the home team.
What kind of shit is this?
He didn't even get
Them's the rules.
Like Josh Allen?
Hey, Steve, thanks for what you do, bud.
I do not accept that result, and I will not go to Rainbow Land, and you can't make me.
Appreciate it, Steve.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Steve.
man.
Thank you, Stevie.
How was the Bolitnikov answer? Was it right?
That's what got me.
Hey,
That's what got me.
hard out here, man.
Get one right.
All right, bets tonight. Orioles -1.5. That's at +130. Then let's go Dodgers. Let's go Astros. Let's go money line, and let's get it at +146.
Look, DraftKings has a lot of making up to do because they didn't count the Braves -2.5 2 days ago when that game ended before the ninth.
Oh, yeah,
It was 9-0.
Yeah.
Okay, the Booster Club reached out. They let me know. That's why you got to use Bet Online. Okay. But
.ag,
tonight,
love it.
Rangers money line +102. The World Series champ Rangers, I should say. And then another Nerfie. We hit our Nerfie yesterday. First one of the season, feeling good. Pittsburgh, Washington, no runs. First inning -105.
Make that face at him, dog.
All right, look, 3-0 on Nerfies this year. The Mets game got canceled. I like where we're heading. All right, we got to keep the train rolling. And today, give me the Reds, Philly, Nerfie -122. Bryce Harper, please do not go yard.
He hit 3 yesterday.
I know.
Including a granny.
3.
And give me the
Right,
Guardians,
babe.
a.k.a. the Indians, and the Mariners, Nerfie -146. I'm pretty sure Kirby is on the mound. It's like,
smart.
hey, guess what? You're out.
All right, Ace. He's going to go Blue Jays +120 and Padres, or as they're known in the Catholic faith, the Fathers at -148.
When did the first pitch bet start for you?
Oh,
First pitch out, first pitch strikes.
Well, that's the one. Those are the type of bets I can get you back in a month. It's like hitting a first touchdown.
That's your reserves?
Yeah, that's that's the Doug Flutie.
Well, it's like in Men in Black when he says, don't hit the red button.
Well, now the big
Never
thing,
press the red button.
Now the big thing is parlaying 2 people to walk their first at bat. The odds on are crazy.
I bet. What
Crazy.
Because
it's that, and
Does
remember,
hit by pitch
it's
count?
that and the ladder of pitching strikeouts.
Does hit by pitch count as a walk in that?
It's walk/HBP.
Okay.
So it's hit by pitch.
Nice. All right, well, let's walk on over to the Booster Club. I'm sure Ryan Gate has a donation about the Phillies and Bryce Harper.
I mean, let's go do a $5 donation from Ryan Gate. Ryan! Harper's first 3 hits of the season came last night. Home run, and a grand slam.
I thought there was...
Where was the Harper during the Braves series? Oh, yeah, the Braves suck.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to make a joke at the end of that when you started this.
Let's go to a $2 donation from Timothy from GB. Said, what should I do in Tennessee this week?
What should I do in Tennessee this week? Hell, it depends on where you're at. You know, if you're in Memphis, Beale Street. If you're in Nashville, Broadway.
Midtown's good too, man.
Yeah, Midtown is good.
$5 last donation of the day. $5 donation from Chase Mills. Been doing my whole life, baby. When did Jake and Blain turn on their boy and join Team Badger?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, you
Great
kidnapped him,
question.
dog. I mean, I'm not for kidnapping unless
How do you know he wasn't there willingly? He's weird, man.
because he was
No,
tied
weird
up.
stuff.
And
Yeah, he's a pervert.
yeah. Well, we'll see.
Well, quickly, hold on. Do we have that picture, Justine?
What? I didn't do it.
All right. This is my good buddy, Lane Willis. Him and Lindsay
wow,
gave
yeah.
birth this morning.
Yeah.
This is Austin Marie Willis. She is 7 pounds, 8 ounces, and she is absolutely precious.
All right, Laney.
Congratulations
Yeah.
to Lane and Lindsay. I can't wait to meet her. I'm so excited for both of y'all.
That's awesome. Man.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
That's a good way to end
You know
it.
how I know he's
Oh.
a real one too? Hold on. I know he's a real one. Kaneka sausage tea.
Oh, dude, I'm telling
That's how
you.
you know.
You want to talk about,
Only stay with the reels.
Kaneka sausage.
if you ever want to go turkey hunting, that's
Like
the
a
man you need to
director.
call.
I'm like a director.
All right, Paul, thoughts on us doing an afternoon show?
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm interested to hear the results on this.
I'm gonna say yes, 60%.
Yes, 70%.
Yes, 73%. No, 27%.
Look into that.
Yeah, we may have some announcements coming down the pipe. But we appreciate y'all. Going to be down in Gainesville tomorrow. Excited about that. Make sure you check us out. Hit that subscribe button. Keep sharing the show. Shout out to our sponsors, Bet Online and Good Ranchers from today. Both great products. Go check them out. And like the chances of LSU making the national championship game in women's basketball. And they lost to Southern in baseball last night. Going. Adversity ball. Gone.